Hello and welcome to FTTR, I'm Ian McQuaid, and let's just jump straight into this because it is the biggest news story that could have possibly broken in ages. You know, bigger than Paul White joining AEW, bigger than Mark Henry joining AEW, bigger than Tony Khan's massive announcement, which was Christian Cage joining AEW. Now, this news has broken mainly from Bodyslam.net and a mixture of Fightful with Sean Ross Sapp that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are signing with the company. Now, this is huge for a number of reasons. So we're going to start with Daniel Bryan. Let's start with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was in the main event of WrestleMania. He was in the biggest match on that card against Roman Reigns and Edge, and now in the same year he is jumping ship to the opposition. Now this is monumental. This is almost as big as, Hogan jumping ship back in the day for the Monday Night Wars. It's a really big deal. I don't want to underestimate how much of a bigger deal this is. This is someone who fans adore. He's one of the most beloved characters and performers that WWE had, and they failed to keep him, if this is true. I'll have to add this all the way, if this is true. Him going to AEW is just monumental, and I can see why he wants to do it. There were numerous reports out there that he wanted to work for New Japan in this sort of last run of his career, and he wants to work against some of the best in the world. You got Kenny Omega, Hangman Page. He could redo John Moxley. Has he faced John Moxley? He must have faced Dean Ambrose at some point. You've got this entire range of people that Daniel Bryan could face, and I think that's what appeals to Daniel Bryan personally. But I'm going to go into a brief history. The thing with Daniel Bryan for me personally is that I had left watching wrestling at the point when the Yes movement was happening. I've gone back and watched, WrestleMania 30. I love WrestleMania 30. And I've gone back and rewatched some of the, I think it was SummerSlam, I can't remember what year, the one where he faced Cena. That one. I can't remember the year. But for me personally, my favourite Daniel Bryan is heel Daniel Bryan, and that's the Planet's Champion Daniel Bryan, where he was teamed with Rowan and going against Kofi Kingston. That was my favourite version of Daniel Bryan, and that's the version I want to see. Maybe that's quite controversial. People want to see, the American Dragon, or they want to see the Yes Movement Daniel Bryan. But for me, I want to see the Planet's Champion Daniel Bryan, because I thought that had legs, and it could have gone for ages, and I don't think it was fully utilised to its potential. It was great. I absolutely love Planet's Champion Daniel Bryan. That's how I'd want him to go in AEW. I'd want him to be a bad guy, personally. I just think that works really well. I don't want to necessarily see a redo, like a redo of sort of Broken Matt that we got. I'd like to see the character transform back into the Planet's Champion. That's how I'd want Daniel Bryan to go to AEW, and it looks like he's going to be debuting at this show in New York, this massive stadium show, and there's no better place for that. No better place for him to debut than that. It is just insane. And going on to the even more insane news, CM Punk is one of the sort of hidden treasures of professional wrestling, because people love CM Punk. He left in such a way that people want to see him again and again and again and again. But he's never come back. If this is his actual return, I think this will melt fans' brains. I don't think they'll be able to comprehend that CM Punk has come back, because we've wanted it for so long that it's not going to feel real. It's going to be really weird if CM Punk, even though apparently he's 100% signed with the company, just seeing him come out is going to be euphoric, especially if it's in Chicago. If it is in Chicago, then man alive, it's going to be insane. But again, with CM Punk, I feel like I missed the boat on CM Punk a little bit. For me, my version of CM Punk that I love is 2009 to sort of 2011-ish, just before he took over the Nexus. I like straight edge, full-on straight edge Punk, heel Punk. His match, well, not his match, his angle with Jeff Hardy, his feud with Jeff Hardy is one of my favourites. His Money in the Bank cash-ins I really like. I'm on that version of Punk again. But I feel like he's going to be a tweener. he's going to be a badass tween who's going to come in and I think probably challenge Kenny Omega straight away. And then we can get that dream match of Kenny Omega versus CM Punk. Oh, that is just mouth-watering. It's just a really weird time, this. Really weird. And I don't quite know how to express how I feel about this. They are two of the biggest wrestling superstars on the planet. And for them to come to AEW, which has been, to me, sort of undermined a little bit in people's perception, because they just think it's, a smaller, offbeat promotion, when really they're getting 1 million viewers a week for the last 2 weeks, fingers crossed. These two, I feel like, could shift the needle and possibly change the culture. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know. It's just mad. It's just madness, and I can't wait to see what happens personally. Those are my brief thoughts on CM Punk and Daniel Bryan possibly joining AEW. I can't believe that's a sentence that's even coming out of my mouth. But let me know what your favourite Daniel Bryan moment is and what your favourite CM Punk moment is down in the comments, and who would you want to see them face in AEW. Let me know down in the comments and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.